Hey everybody, mediacube podcast, Roman Ivan. Today we're discussing the scandal. MrBeast, one of the US biggest YouTube channel, accused Russia's biggest YouTube channel, A4, in plagiarizing his thumbnails, content, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
This has been hugely discussed everywhere, on YouTube, on Twitter, in the media. The headlines about this case are in the media over and over again. So today we'll try to analyze this a bit from legal perspective, whether thumbnails are subject to copyright, whether it is a copyright infringement from the side of YouTube, and how can YouTube handle this? And the most important thing, who benefits most from the scandal?
Yeah, that's right.
MrBeast or A4? Roman, what do you think?
I think it's the best way to start with is to discuss who is going to benefit the most, like you said.
Right.
So allegedly, we might think that it's a kind of a beef that was agreed upon before it started, because it's one of the biggest channels in the US against one of the biggest channels in Russia.
The biggest channel in Russia.
The biggest, yeah, the biggest one. And I guess that it might be some kind of a predefined things that they discussed earlier.
For the sake of PR.
Yeah, that's right. We know pretty many cases of not like the same things, but similar stuff that was used by big YouTubers in order to exchange the audience and grow their channels together. So who knows?
That's right. But still, who benefits most? I mean, in terms of reputation, A4's reputation definitely suffers.
Yeah.
But in terms of revenue, he gains US traffic, which in terms of CPMs is way, way, way more expensive than that from Russia.
Yeah, but we're talking about, ad hoc things that are going on right now. It doesn't mean that A4 is going to gain the audience that is going to stay with the channel on the long term. So I think, he's getting the audience right now among the US audience because they are interested in to get the grip of who is A4.
Yeah, that's right. They just want to. They just want to check all those thumbnails and see whether MrBeast's accusations are true or false.
And vice versa. Russian audience is going to wants to understand who is MrBeast and what kind of content he produces.
Do you happen to know how A4 reacted to these accusations?
Yeah, there was just one Instagram story where he said that his level of content creation and production level is much better than any other UGC content on YouTube. So, and I think it's a pretty loud statement to say.
What do you think from your experience? Is it actually a spread thing when YouTubers plagiarize thumbnails or content?
Yeah, it happens all the time, but not at this level, I guess. As long as the idea is not being protected on YouTube, and when someone takes the idea of a thumbnail and just recreates it as A4 does, he does not, photoshops his head to the body of MrBeast.
But MrBeast actually accused him of doing so.
Yeah, but I don't think it happens like this.
Right.
Because I think Vlad A4 is capable of recreating the same stage, the same set of things in order to make just the same thumbnail, but with himself in it, with his friends who he creates content with.
True, that's right. So my next question is, you've just said idea is not subject to copyright anyhow, but thumbnail itself can be or cannot.
Yeah, it can. Well, actually it can, because when you want to report the copyright infringement, you're going to report it under the video through the flag icon, and then you can choose the infringing work, allegedly infringing work, and mark it as an infringement of a custom thumbnail. So actually, you can submit a takedown request, takedown notice to YouTube, who is going to qualify whether it's valid or not. And after that, the video is going to be either removed or the video will stay on the platform if YouTube thinks that it's that this claim, this request is invalid.
What do you yourself think from your experience? First, will MrBeast rise a claim against A4, a legal claim, or this is just for the sake of PR? And if he does, how will YouTube react? Because from what I know and from my experience, thumbnails have never been the subject of legal prosecution.
Yeah, that's right. That's a very tricky question, by the way. And I have never seen any legal actions taken at this point. But I've seen several strikes that were submitted because of thumbnail infringement, plagiarizing. But it happens when the entire thumbnail is being used without any changes, without any amends. And in this case, YouTube just cannot, cannot close the eyes on this issue and just say that it's invalid. So in this case, yeah, it happens. But I've never seen that the recreated thumbnail can become the matter of any legal prosecution.
Right. So Vlad A4 is the smartest guy.
That's right.
In this case
Yeah.
and in this situation.
So let's think about how it's going to, what is going to happen step by step.
This is interesting.
If MrBeast wants to go on with this.
From the side of YouTube.
From the side of YouTube, yeah. So he's going to, he just takes the link of the video that has the infringing thumbnail. Then he can submit the notification, the takedown notice to YouTube with several links to the same channel. It can be done within just one request.
Right.
So he can mark several videos. And then YouTube has to decide whether it's valid or invalid. And this is the most tricky thing because we just don't know how YouTube will react to this, because one of the biggest channels is going against one of the biggest channels in a different region. But what happens if YouTube is going to remove these videos? A4 is going to have three options. Whether to wait 90 days while the strike expires by itself. He can submit a counter notification that he has launched the legal prosecution through court and within 10 days. And if it doesn't happen within 10 days, the videos of A4 are going to be restored on the platform. And the third option that A4 is going to have is to contact directly MrBeast and ask to call them off.
Okay, so from what you said, I understand that thumbnails are a pretty tricky question, and it's really pretty hard to accuse somebody of plagiarizing thumbnails. But from your experience, have there been any cases when there were accusations of plagiarism and legal actions were taken, and actual videos and content was removed because of these accusations of plagiarism?
Well, I can't say that it's exactly plagiarism, but I remember the case when it was a trademarked character, cartoon character, with a specific name, with a specific visualization, and it has been used in different YouTube channels, and YouTube received several legal acts when it was really added to the registry of trademarks, and it really was not allowed for anyone to use this character without permission.
Right.
That's why I've seen the entire channel that has been removed from YouTube because of this. And it was quite a big channel, over 1 million subs. And yeah, I remember this case.
Okay. Does it mean that if you're a creator, want to make a video, say, about some other YouTube creators, which happens quite often. Like a lot of small or medium-sized creators would make videos about either bigger YouTube creators, about this very same Vlad A4, or about musicians using their images, etc., etc., etc. Like actually us, like we do, like we have a music channel with a friend of mine, and the very model of this channel is that we are discussing bands and the history of the bands, and we at all times we use images of rock stars. Is there a possibility that we actually can get under legal prosecution for these, for using images without notifying these guys?
Yeah.
But it happens all over.
Yeah, it might happen. It might happen because there is another issue that is also happens quite often when there is a infringement of confidentiality and privacy.
Right.
And there is just a separate thing that you can report for. You can submit a notification to YouTube that your confidentiality or your privacy has been violated. And in this case, YouTube will not remove the video, will not strike it, but will ask to remove either thumbnail where the image has been used, or to blur the those parts of the video where this person or his personal data have been used.
I see. Well, this is interesting because really it happens all over the place. I mean, YouTube is just all about this such like
That's
videos.
Right, yeah.
Everybody's talking about somebody and using images as an illustration.
Yeah, but at the same time, the majority of cases are going to be protected by so-called fair use.
What? Yeah, well, tell us more about fair use.
So there are actually 4 major points of fair use which are taken into consideration when the particular case is being reviewed by either courts or YouTube does not really review it. There are 4 major points that are reviewed by the courts. The first one is the purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of commercial nature or for non-profit educational purposes.
Yes, I can argue with this one because even if it is made for educational purposes on YouTube and monetization is turned on, it means that it is commercial use.
This is just one of the points. This is just one of the points. And the next one, the amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole. So it means how much of the third-party content has been used in your own video. So it also can be taken into consideration when it's being reviewed, whether it's fair use or not.
Right. May I ask you a question here? So what is the duration of fair use of third-party video or a third-party piece of music?
You can't tell exactly, but it's just one of the points that are going to be taken into consideration. So you cannot just take one of these 4 points and make a decision. In the court, they are going to review all of them and make a decision based on the common understanding of how the work has been used.
I see.
The next one, the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work, which means whether the owner, the original owner of the copyright, lost some profit on it. For example, when there is a great Russian film reviewer, bad comedian, those viewers who viewed the video of bad comedian, they're not going to go to the cinema to watch the original. So here we can see the loss of profit of the original creator of the work that has been used in the video of bad comedian, for example.
Right, I see. So
and I would also add, YouTube will never make the decision about fair use, whether it's been fair use or not. It's only about the decision made by the court. Let's outline several things that are important from the point of view of understanding how YouTube qualifies different cases.
Right.
We need to understand that YouTube will never make the ownership determinations. YouTube cannot determine whether your content qualifies for fair use or not. YouTube does not know whether your content has been properly licensed or not. That's why YouTube would prefer to stay apart from all these legal issues, legal activities, than to participate in them. That's a very important thing to understand.
Everything shall be decided in a court.
That's right.
Right, so from my perspective, getting back to the case we started from, thumbnails plagiarism is the case of fair use.
Possibly, when it's about the recreation of the thumbnail, not about just copying it.
Right.
But yeah. Possibly.
Right. So anyway, we hope that MrBeast and A4's relations will not lead them to the court, that this is just a PR case that both guys will benefit from. MrBeast getting audiences from Russia and Vlad A4 getting audiences from the United States. And let's promote friendship between Russia and United States. Let's all be brothers, guys. Roman, Ivan, Mediacube Podcast.
Yeah, see you.
See you in a week. Bye.